Hello, everyone. How are you? Oh, did I not forget my tones? There we go. Class is in session. So, oh, that's just so cool. Anyway, hello, Trina. How are you?
Hi, Wayne. I'm wonderful. How are you?
Doing good. And so good to see you, even
So
though you live in the part of the country that why people live there, I don't know. But anyway, it's so good to see you.
you too. As the clock chimes.
Oh, well, it's noon somewhere. Hey, everyone. Good to see everyone in here in the chat room and everyone listening. Just invoking favor upon you. Nothing missing, nothing broken be found in your lives. That's how we speak it, and that's how we live it. So, Trina, anything exciting happening during the week?
Oh, crazy monsoon last night knocked power out, and the streets turned to rivers in about 5 minutes, flood warnings. But as fast as it goes, it blows through. So it was kind of nice because it was fast. But yeah, no power for a couple hours.
And you said it was 106?
106 with heat advisories. I think the high was 108, but it was still 106 at like 7 o'clock at night.
That ain't normal.
It's hot.
Well, I'm glad because it's very, our topics are hot, but it's awfully a very cool environment. So
Absolutely. Thank God for air conditioning. That's all I
that's
can
it.
say about that.
Oh man, I don't know how the old folks did it. I really don't.
Oh, I
Uh,
don't either.
it's so hot. Happy birthday to everyone who's having one today.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who is transitioning right now. And, you know, I wish you favor and peace, Sarah, and Godspeed on your transitioning. And she's literally transitioning right now. So, um, yeah,
See you on the
uh,
other side.
yeah, and, as empaths know,
Yeah.
I never met Sarah,
Uh-huh.
but yet Sarah and I are very close. And it's sometimes I think we fail to understand that empaths can do that. We can literally attach ourselves, to an energy. And this
Yeah.
woman was a delightful woman. She had a very long life, I think 98 years. And up until here very recently was just as spry as,
Yeah.
any young person in their 70s. So,
Isn't it amazing, Wayne, how you can literally feel the connection with
yeah,
people in your heart? You
yeah,
literally feel it. You're
you
like,
literally do.
I've never met you, but I feel you in my heart.
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
And, when my wife told me it was, it's human nature to have sadness, grief. I mean, it's part of being what it is here in this realm.
Yeah.
But at the same hand, I also know she's about to be free.
Yes, it's like we're going to miss your flesh, but I'm
Yeah.
so celebrating your
Yeah.
release of it.
Yeah. And she was a pistol.
Right.
Uh, Gotta tell you, she was a pistol. Anyway, so tonight, a little housekeeping on the Steiger perspective. Tune in. The audience is getting very large. It's in the tens of thousands now. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the social credit score, folks. It's
Oh,
here, and it's a harbinger of the end of personal freedoms and privacy. All of our lives are going to be impacted by this tyrannical, malevolent, dark energy. And that's what it is, Trina.
it is.
It's the only thing I can say is say goodbye to humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I just got a Facebook notice, I think this week, and it said that all of your text messages, all of your photos, all of your content is going to be released publicly next week.
What the hell?
Yep.
Yeah, folks. It's
So this is the first one that's doing it is Facebook. Kids, get ready because I have a feeling your Instagram and your Snapchat might be next. So
yep.
you might want to stop posting things that you do not want everyone in the world to view because it's coming.
Wise words. That's all I got to say. So
Yeah,
tune
they think
in.
it's safe because they think it deletes automatically. They're like, oh no, it erases.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, no, 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 no.
All I can say
Nothing
is
is erased.
I was 15 and on my own, 1970.
Yeah.
I am so freaking glad there was no thing called the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man.
And didn't we have such a freedom?
Oh,
Because we did have a sense of privacy. It was so much more of a more beautiful expression, because with that privacy, I don't know, there's a level of sacredness.
I just have to say right arm on that one, sister, because listen, I was 15 and no one cared. No one knew me. I grew up in the Montrose area in Houston, Texas. But you know what? I could walk the streets at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, stoned on LSD, no less, but never having a fear of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's true. So, Trina, our topic today is negative or positive, which is easier? And as you and I were talking, and I looked up and oh man, we're late. Hello, everyone in the chat room. Hello, the moderators. How y'all doing? Y'all looking really beautiful. Look, there's Julianne all the way from down under. Wow. So thank you all. Much love. Being negative requires very little effort. And it seems that if you want to be positive, that it takes a lot of effort. And when you think about it, Miss Trina, it's like everything is upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so funny, because when that's how I was being shown. Because when I was little and I was communicating with the Lord all the time, I was in two places at once. So I think we're all at two places at once. And this to me is the shadow realm. So this is the shadow realm. You're not as powerful here. You're a drop down version of your original self. So the darkness here, it is super powerful. And I think that's why you can actually hit new levels of vibration, because as dark as you can go is as high as you can rise, because the polarity in this system will always match, perfectly balanced on every aspect. So the lower you can dive in a system is the ones that are going dark, they're going to reach new levels of darkness that have never been seen before. The ones who are seeking the higher vibrations are going to reach vibrations that are higher that have never been seen before.
I'd agree. Yeah.
So I think this system is a place where we can create new things.
Interesting you say that. Now, folks, we didn't talk anything about this. I just simply told her earlier that, we had a topic on here. So I want to bring this to everyone's attention. Going back to Aristotle, all the way back to the 4th century BCE, there have been those, and he wrote, "Is there anyone who's senseless as to believe that there are men whose footsteps are higher than their heads, that the crops and trees grow downwards, that the rain and snow and hail fall upwards to the earth?" Now, we find that to be cosmic absurdity of the idea, and has persisted into modern times. This is going to get really interesting, Trina. Where physical inversion has been paired with social inversion for the purpose of political commentary, the best known expression of an enlarged concept of the 16th and 19th century European prints that the world is upside down. Now think about this. Human reproductive biology means that inversion is the natural order of things at one's entry into the world. As Jonathan Smith writes, it was a commonplace in Hellenistic scientific literature that birth takes place in an upside down position, and that accordingly, it is the due order of nature that men should enter the world with the head first, but be carried to the tomb in a contrary fashion. Even today, coffins in Western funeral processions are transported feet first.
Yep. I've seen that my whole life, that when you come into this dimension, you dive. You're going in head first. And then when you die, when you're released, you're rising and you're head first. I've totally seen that over and over again. And, it's so funny because we try not to process the unthinkable because it seems unthinkable. But when you look at the reality and you look at the truth of things just in their natural form, everything is being shown to you. They're showing you the dive. They're showing you the fall. They're showing you the inversion. They're showing you when you're born, you literally will die. If other beings do not help you to sustain your physical vehicle, you cannot sustain it on your own. So with that, you are instantly brought into a system that requires you to be powerless.
Well, I mean, it's obvious that when you take it from, a philosophical point of view, well, in fact, let's not even be philosophical, practical point of view. We come into this world, as you said, diving head first, and that's not normal. The normal process would be what we call a breached birth, which is where the feet come out first. And how interesting that right from the very get-go of this reality, it is inverted.
Yep. It is.
It gets interesting. I don't know if you've ever looked at tarot cards. I don't know if you're into that, but
I love them. I'm not good at them, but I sure like them.
Okay. There's some intriguing things about the mysterious hangman card in the tarot deck.
Yes.
This is interesting. It represents a newborn held aloft by one heel. If so, the image represents a neutral order of things at a special moment in time. Thereafter, and especially as an adult, one is expected to stand on one's feet. Being upside down is the antithesis of normality, as the butchered man from A Russian World Upside Down printed. Now look at this. So they bring in all the tarot here, folks. I never realized how much of this was showing that we're in an inverted reality.
Yep. That's so amazing because, like I said, they're showing us the truth if we can see it.
Yes. Yes.
It's right in your face, but you can't see it because we have been programmed not to.
So that's what we're talking about. This is so mind-blowing for me because it goes all the way back to early Egyptian.
And look at that, Wayne, on both of those. That man is hanging in a portal.
Yeah.
That's a portal. Yeah. That's a gate.
Yeah. And it talks about how we get immediately into this. We're born into the fact that punishment is coming.
Yep.
I had never thought about that in the sense that, by the way, if anyone wants this PDF, it's a short one. It is apps. This is the Tower, the Trump card. All of these have a whole different meaning when you look at the fact we live in an inverted world. And it seems like our ancient ancestors knew this psychically or intuitively as well. This goes back to, there you go, almost 5,000 BCE.
Yeah, Wayne, to see, look at that, how they're showing the shadows.
Yes.
So they're showing you the shadows. This is like Plato's cave.
Mm-hmm.
Shadows this is the shadow world. And they're showing you this is the shadow world, people. We need to understand this. This is a reflection, an inversion of your higher self being dropped down into matter, into the shadow world.
It's so remarkable when you study this and you read the commentary to this. It blows the whole thing out that these people were somehow less smart than we are.
Right.
I'm going, where'd you get that at?
Right. And they're telling us that these cave drawings, Wayne, they're saying now that, all the ones where you see with the the topography and the animals, it's all showing shadows of the animals. This means that these pictures were coming from above.
Yeah. And in this one here, I've always been intrigued by the ritual, I guess, of the people at that time putting their handprints, so
Me
that
too.
it's so fascinating. It's because what we're looking at here is, this is what I call evidence that cannot be disputed.
Yep.
Now, there's a lot of things in our lives that we can say could be disputed. But when you see this, and these figurines in here are just fascinating. And by the way, this was what they represented in the Book of Caverns, which refers to the overturned ones, the fettered ones, foremost in the place of destruction, while the adamant describes the corpse of the enemies and the bodies of the dead, the upside down ones who are hindered from moving. You cannot come into being if you are upside down. The motif of personal inversion also was applied to real life. Captives were suspended upside down from the prows of the Egyptian ships returning from foreign campaigns.
Wow.
And it gets better, folks. The drawings in here are absolutely, it's been one of these things that I guess modern man has completely, kicked back. Well, that's just the Middle Ages. What did they know? But it seems like they knew a lot about what life was. And again, check this out. So this is Dante's Inferno. So this is a picture of the dam.
Yeah, and you know what I see when I see that, Wayne? These people were so lost in the material world that they had no spiritual foundation whatsoever. So as they've become so attached and as one with the earth, believing that this is all that they are, they've literally been cast into it of their own belief.
It's what the spirit book says as well.
I believe it. I've seen it, and I've seen it over and over again. It's you will go what you think and feel about, period.
Yeah. Anyway, we won't spend any more time on this, but I can tell you, folks, this is, of course, the depiction of Peter being crucified upside down.
Wow.
It goes.
Odin too. The Greek, the ruins. Odin.
Yes.
That's Odin hung himself upside down on the tree.
Yep. There is so much to this that I could spend hours on this, but nevertheless, if anyone wants this, and if you want it, Trina, I'll send it to you too. It's a very interesting read.
Absolutely.
I think what it really showed me was, give me 1 second. Yes. All right. Here I am. Is that it seems like our species has been, we seem to gravitate naturally to the negative side of things.
I think that's because of the magnetism that gets put into the flesh upon entry. This is a magnetic system, and it draws, pulls, and it consumes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, do you know how big the self-help industry is?
Oh, it's got to be huge.
$10 billion.
Yeah.
$10 billion.
Uh-huh. And most of it's not even really helping people. It's just like, it's like people need to understand the real keys are to literally learn how to go into trance and dive into your own body, because you can release and transmute anything once you can get into your own self. So we've been taught so backwards. Again, the inversion.
The inversion.
Pray to this being, go communicate with this angel, go do this. It's like, no, you need to learn to go in.
See, folks, think outside the box. Yeah.
And think too, everything is backwards.
It is.
Something's been taught to you. You need to automatically go, what's the opposite of that? Because that's probably the truth.
I read somewhere that they said that most languages are written backwards.
Yes. And our verbs are in the wrong place.
Yes.
English language is such a hex. It's why they call it spelling. You're spelling, and they don't want you to know cursive, because cursive is the foundation to making sigils, because no broken lines.
Exactly.
It's
And
like,
all lines are closed off.
yep, yep.
Something is afoot here. So let's expound on that because that, folks, listen, that's the price of worth of admission right here. That when you look at the English language, which is, they say is, if there is a language on earth, it would be English would be the universal language.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking just what you said. So we're putting out there that, hey, we're a hexed culture. So come on in.
Yeah, it was funny. They told me the sex is the hex that puts you into this mess. And yeah, and they were showing me how the genetics had the alphabet in them, and it was like, this is your hex, and this is what creates the carbon cell, and this is how it's all formed, is through these fire letters and the alphabet. And then they took the original alphabets and the original languages, and they added to them, and they inverted things, and they put things together that weren't supposed to be blended. And I was receiving some profound instruction the other night about our perfect genetic codes, that
Go
we
on.
were issued perfect genetics, and we, through deception or interference, and I think this is the whole story of Adam being put to sleep. That was when our genetics were modified. And I don't think that was the first time, I must say to that again. But every time that we have modified our genetics, we've become weaker and more easily controlled. And this has been the reason that we can't hear God anymore.
I'll expand on that. I don't have a problem with that at all. And I'll tell you, the more there is this book, we're going to get into this. This is a book The Energetic War Against Humanity. It's been traced back to 6,000 years ago when we first got the evidence that it started. And I am becoming more convinced that we think we're living a life here, us humans, but this is an experiment. And by all indications, our version today, we are very, very recent. And Trina, I'll say this publicly, I think the experiment's coming to an end.
It might be.
It failed.
Yeah, it might be. But you know what though? If we can pull this off, Wayne, we're going to do something that they did not think we could do.
Very interesting because
and I came here to see if we could do this. So I came here specifically, they told me you came here to create something new. And you came here to remember who you are. Because if we can remember who we are, we can bring those original codes back into our body through light. And light creates matter. So then it'll change your body, it'll change the planet. But we have to be able to remember our original light codes.
All right. I want you to keep that thought because I have something I want to bring to everyone's attention because I think, Trina, the trap has been set, and I'm going to tell you why I think this. I'm about to show you an article that, first of all, let me preface this by saying I believe more than ever now there is a group of beings, physical beings, that are the ones that are running the show here. And I'll say this article right here is something, folks, and Trina, it goes exactly what you said, because I think they're already trying to put the counter in. So this is what they want to do. They want to do thought control over the whole Earth's population.
Yep.
The entire freaking population. Now, you can watch the video. I'll leave the link. But I think that this is what they're trying to do to counter exactly what you said, because it's my belief that this is where magic will come in. And I mean the true magic.
Yes. And Wayne, you know, look at the circumstances you came into this planet with. Everything was built in to destroy you, and you didn't let it.
Hell no.
All of us.
Neither did you. A lot of us.
All of us. We've been through some crap, you know, and instead of letting the mud take us down into the depths of darkness, we came out like the lotus.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got mud on our roots, but we are flowers blooming on the top. And we are the rebel cells.
Yep.
And I was told if we succeed, we will become a new creation. And we would be called the Earth Angels, or the rebel warriors, the rebellious warriors of light. Like there's nothing that can be done to stop us from supporting good. We're the ultimate protectors, the warriors, the ones who came here to shift something that no one thought could be shifted. And we'll do it with our determination and our will.
There's so much what you're saying in there as my mind's going 1,000 miles on this, because as I was putting this together, we're going to get into another part of this, dealing in homelessness. This rampant, I'm shocked at the numbers, but getting back to what you were saying, we are that virus. And that's the only way I can look at us. We are a virus. And I think the machine has identified us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I will tell you, most of these homeless people, I'd say 70%, they're angels, guys.
Now that is interesting.
They're angels.
Let's continue to talk on this, because this is something
in this world, Wayne. That's why they can't fit. They can't fit because they can't fit because they're too receptive. That's why they go crazy. That's why they get mental illness. These are the treasures of this planet.
Yeah, I want to bring out these pictures because we're talking, why is it that humanity always reverts to the negative? And it seems like if we ever find a positive leader, that leader is ostracized or never allowed to really speak. And I hadn't thought about this. These are souls.
Oh, God, yes. And some of the most powerful, loving, receptive beings on the planet. And they can't stand the injustice of this world. And that's why they rebel and they can't conform into the systems. And they are the prophets. They are the angels among us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be careful, because you entertain angels every day.
And this is the thing that when I see this, because it seems like when you have homelessness, they're immediately immersed into a magical world of evil energies. And this is just part of that representation.
Yes.
I think to myself, is this the best we can do? I mean, I think we have to come up with something better. And
Wayne, I think it's every human being's right. When you were born into this construct, you have a physical body which requires shelter, food, water. Every single one of those needs, this planet has given it to us. But the only reason that we don't have it is because greedy people have taken control of our planet, and they think they get to say who lives, who dies, who starves, who dies of thirst.
And how does that mindset...
We allow it.
Yeah. Because, Trina, that is a mindset that's purposely taken on when you begin to elevate yourself above another human being.
Yep.
And suddenly you have the brilliance, the wisdom to begin to dictate how that person should think, how that person should act, how that person should be. Yep. That is not life.
No.
That is an evil, malevolent force that is, all you can say, it's a prison.
And we win this by taking back our planet and by taking care of each other and finding ways to start getting away from the control, because absolute control leads to absolute corruption every single time. And this is where we're sitting. We've had greedy, crazy control freaks who have been running the planet for thousands of years. And through this level of control and absolute corruption, they're all insane. They're all literally cuckoo.
Oh, I think they're
So
backtrack crazy.
bandits have to be taken out of control, just like they want to control us for bad behavior. Who's going to control them for bad behavior?
Well, they're above that.
No, they're not above that because
That's what they think.
yeah, but we that's what I'm saying. And they have been above us because they've been using magic to keep us weak. Well, now we're
Very
going to
much
start
so.
using magic to even the score.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to start invoking our higher family so they can come down and deal with these energetic issues, because we're going to have to deal with the physical. And it's going to be energetic and physical. But I will tell you what, I hate to say it, guys, but this might be a little freaky for some, but understand this. I think we came here for the ultimate battle. And I don't think we're going to be battling with just physical beings. I think it's going to be a merging of all that is, because this is the grand finale from what I've understood. And they always say, fear not. And do you understand how powerful that you actually are when you don't fear death?
Yeah, I mean, that's what this channel does. It teaches people how to overcome that. All right, let's get. This is a deep subject, because it's one that many people, because it has a tendency to touch virtually every type of belief system. And when you look at all these belief systems, I believe that the belief system, let me just rephrase it. I know that these systems have been put into place to give a false hope, a false sense of you're somehow better than everyone else because you're the only one that's got the answer.
Yes. Yeah, the religions have taught you to give all of your power away and to stand in 100% judgment and condemnation of anybody who does not share your same belief system, which is the ultimate sin.
Yeah.
So y'all think you're going to be like going up and getting some good brownie points for serving your God and banging on this Bible and this ancient book and this. It is going to be the biggest utter disappointment.
It is
thrown into the shithole, because they're like, all you did was judge and condemn your whole life. There was no love in your heart. All you did was focus on how you were right. You didn't even try to see the opinion or view of the others around you, and they're me. God's going to be looking at you going, you did that to me.
And I just want to add a little asterisk to this, is that if you live long enough, and let's say you end up having issues like so common these days of Alzheimer's, dementia, what the interesting thing is that if you were a bigot, a closet bigot, it comes out.
It does. I see it right now with my grandmother.
I mean, where Lynn works, it's like,
I'm like, oh God, Grandma.
It's like, what the heck is going on?
Wayne, she's never been this way. She taught in predominantly very poor schools. She was a school teacher for 47 years or something. So she was kind to everyone. She never, but her parents were raised in that very strong segregation. So this is her childhood programs coming out of her, when as an adult, she never, ever expressed any of this bigotry. But because of the childhood programs start to come out of you as you're older, because you're breaking down all the layers of self, trying to get out of the body. And through that, you start going through different layers of your existence. And when you get towards the end, I think you get closer to your child.
I think you do. And I mentioned Sarah when we started this. What tickled me was the first time Lynn come home and she made this comment. So you have to imagine this woman who's 98, right? And in a wheelchair. And she's at the dining room table and they're all eating. And Sarah looks at the woman next to her and she said, "You and I would get along a whole lot better if you would just shut the hell up."
Oh my God. Oh yeah. I'm not even going to say some of the things my grandmother has said that we were like.
You and I get along just fine if you just shut the hell up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's feisty. And my grandmother, I swear to you, Wayne, the maddest she ever got in her whole life. I mean, the worst pissed off I ever saw her. She stomped her foot on the ground 3 times and went, damn, damn, damn. That's the worst thing I ever saw my grandma do. And man, the stuff she's doing right now, I'm like, whoa, grandma.
That was like, could we have that back again? And isn't it interesting? 3 times. There is magic again. It's the repetitiveness of 3 times. And yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And not to digress, but the first time, and it only shows up in one place in the Christian Bible. And it's remarkable because I could never understood, well, why did they say 3 times? Well, because that's how you seal a spell.
You know why I just heard? Because you are 3.
Yes,
All 3
indeed.
within thee must agree, soul, mind, spirit. All 3 within thee must agree. 3. You are the 3. That's why we invoke in 3. Wow, that's cool.
Wow. Far out.
Like, wow. We are the 3, the tree, the 3. We are the 3. So nothing works unless you got all 3.
So we're talking about magic, and I'm going to get into a book here that in a second that'll really bring this out. I believe that they're setting this neural net up. I believe it's in place. I think that they're trying to get the last mile, so to speak, connected. Okay. And so the question I think, Trina, that we need to ask amongst ourselves is all right, I got 4 thoughts going here at the same time. Can we elevate ourselves into a vibration that would be higher than this neural net that they're putting out? That's the question.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not even hard. Yes.
Well, let's go expand on that, because this is where I think the positive.
Oh my God, Wayne, I woke up this morning and I swear I got hit with like 15 demons. Like, and the demon to me is negative chatter.
Yes.
Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, la, 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 la. And man, I'm telling you what, the faster you can identify that, you just sit down and you start laughing. And you think of things that make you feel good. Put on a video that makes you feel really happy. Something that connects you to those frequencies. And you literally just start seeing their butts being kicked. Poof, poof, poof. So I literally had to wake up this morning and start counterattack. Counterattack is your frequency. Raise it. Nothing dark can stand in it. What happens when you bring a candle into a dark room?
It's going to light it up.
You got it. Bring the atomic bomb. You have it.
I love how you're bringing this out, because laughter.
Yeah.
In so many of these advanced books that I'm reading, laughter is used to banish.
Yes. I think it's the strongest.
It is, and that's what they say.
The strongest, yes.
Yeah, laughter.
It's like, really? Really?
I'll find myself doing, writing tasks or doing something in the house, and like you, the fiery darts come in.
Yeah.
And because I used to be a very, politics was my game, baby. And, I was
demons with that game.
Oh, good Lord, yes.
Yeah.
And so even when I'm like washing the dishes or fixing, something for dinner, and I have started this, and I said, all right, let's put into practice what I've been taught, because wisdom will not come to you unless you exercise what you've been shown.
Yes. Application is the end of the manifestation. You have to apply it.
Woo, woof.
Because you have to match the frequency or you cannot get it into the reality.
Bingo.
This is all energy, folks. This is all energy.
And that's what I see God as.
Me too.
Is in fact,
Me
I can't.
Too. It's in everything, and I can't even wrap my brain around how big that thing is.
Yeah, and in fact, I think we're only seeing the low level of it. I think there's yet universes of constructs that will blow our minds if we saw them today.
Like I said, Wayne, I literally been asking that question for 15 years and they've been spoon feeding me, showing me more and more. And I'm to the point now where I'm like, I can't do no more. Just stop. It's too big for your brain. It's like, don't try, just trust. You
Yes,
don't need to
yes.
know, just trust. Trust it's bigger than you can even fathom.
And to add on the laughter part of that, that actually, I think, emboldens trust because laughter, um, it raises the frequency immediately.
Yes, and you're laughing because when you can laugh at anything, it means that you can truly understand that this isn't real. This is just an experience and it's part of an existence. And you came here to seriously get drug through the mud so you can come up like the lotus. I mean, Buddha had it right.
Well,
Become nothing.
yeah.
And when you become nothing, you aren't attached to anything. That even means your body. And with that, you become powerful and you become a frequency because you're not sitting in the natural construct of 90% of the human populace, which is completely terrified of death.
While you were talking, I had this thought that immediately came in. You know, that also, now I know this is going to sound a little hard to some people, but it also means relationship, folks.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I'm drawn back to the parable that the Christ was saying that the time will come when son will be against father, daughter will be against mother, the three will be against the two, and I always found it strange in those parables when he said you have to basically put to death all relationships.
Yes, he says, if you don't learn to hate your mother.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Those
Now,
are some pretty serious statements. Hate your mother.
hate your mother. I mean, hate is equated to murder.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that's
Yeah.
crazy. What are you talking about? But then I understood this is all an inversion. This is the shadow. So if you love the shadow, you're going to get more of it.
So this is all tying in. This whole program is the fact that, we're born into an inverted world. And everything from that point is an inversion.
Yes.
Now, I guess that you could say that in an inverted world, the laws and the principles that rule that world would in fact be truth, right?
Yes.
But it would be actually a lie.
Yes. Yes.
Now I'm beginning to see in some of these deep thinkers.
Yep. What I've seen is in the third dimension. Okay, so we are in the third dimension. But when we're existing on 9 different dimensions at the same time. So this is what I've been shown. And it's taken me a long time to grasp these concepts because they're so crazy. It's nuts. But I see, like, you know how our energy body has 5 different energy bodies?
Yeah.
I see each one of those energy bodies literally residing on that realm. So you are so much more than you're aware of because you're literally consciousness on different levels of existence simultaneously as you're expressing in this dimension here and now. So those different bodies, they have access to different frequencies.
It's interesting when you brought out the 5 aspects. So, I equate those to the 5 physical senses, but
yes,
even within each one of the senses, these bodies are so dense that it even limits what we take in. I agree with you. I think there's a level where sight is everything.
Yes. And that's why the inner sight is so important to develop. Use your imagination, learn how to dream again. This is your primary objective is you've got to start reconnecting to these childlike qualities because those are where your treasures are. That's your heaven treasure. It's in your mind and you got to unlock these things within your own body so you can remember.
Now you said the key word. I didn't say it, but you said the key word.
Imagination.
And it's a ritual. Listen, I love this. This book, by the way, is phenomenal. We're going to get into it. It's talking about the magical words of power. And it says this ritual connects you to the power of imagination, which can range from dreams and fantasies to images of strength that overcome fear. Without imagination, we cannot create. And yet many people believe they have no imagination. If you decide to walk across the house to another room, that is an act of imagination.
Yes.
Thought of an alternate reality. You imagined it, and then you made it real by taking action.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right on time. I love it when the bell rings. Folks,
I know, right? The profound truth hits and the bell starts to chime.
Exactly. Boom, baby. Drop the mic.
Yeah.
We'll finish it. It says, imagination is much more than the ability to visualize or create. But in working this magic, you will develop skills that enable reality manipulation, as well as an improved ability to create or see images within your mind.
Bingo.
Oh,
energy
yeah.
first, energy first. And energy first means you have to be able to imagine it before you can manifest it. Imagine. Image in the engine. You're throwing the image into the engine, and the engine will create it and bring it back to you and manifest it in the reality. Imagination.
We're hit with that as we get to the age of accountability in the Western culture, that, we're taught that, the image, we were created in the image, but image
means a copy.
Yes.
Copycat.
An image then can be translated over to having an imagination.
Yes.
You have to have it. Anyway, this is a great book. We'll get into more of this. It's phenomenal. That's all I got to say. It teaches, Trina, how to have an actual ritual and to bring imagination. I like how you said it. I'm thinking of the lotus flower.
Yeah.
Bringing it forward.
Yes. You plant the seed with the imagination, and the manifestation comes into action if you don't give up on it and you let it go. You just let it go and know it's going to come when it's supposed to, but you don't ever doubt it. You don't ever cancel out your own magic, because that's the hardest part, is not to cancel out your own manifestations with doubt.
Yes, because doubt, I mean, if there's one thing all of us have in common, is that we all have to fight doubt.
Yes. That's the accuser. That's the devil.
That is the Satan.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's not a physical being, folks. Yeah. It's you.
You imagine it.
Yes.
You can create that thought form. So if there shows up a devil, you made it. It's yours.
You know what I tell the Satan that comes to me with those things now? I laugh. I said, is that the best you got?
Right.
I mean, you're accusing me of what?
Right. I just want to say, I'm sorry that I didn't do things maybe the way that you liked it, but can I give you a hug?
I just invoke favor.
Have you ever fallen down and made a bad mistake before? Let's talk about it. They don't want to have those conversations.
Oh, no. And, the ones that I have in my head is always like, okay, so you never lived this life. So who the hell are you?
Right. When were you in flesh last?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, they didn't.
Who were you? What did you do?
They didn't give me the book.
So maybe you didn't do a good job.
What was in the movie Beetlejuice? Wasn't it where the couple that had died and they had the book of the dead? And I'm thinking they should have given us a book for the living. No.
Right. Oh, maybe that's what we're supposed to do, Wayne. Write a book for the living.
And
I
know some people will say,
define principles of well-being, because when you know how to be well, be well, you're well-being. And when you're in the well of being, you're in the moment now, and you're God in action.
Yes,
Divine
and a well-being.
Well-being. Yeah, well-being.
And if you're a well-being, you're not a sick being.
Yes, and you're in the well of creation. There's something with this word. They're like, it's supposed to be the divine principles of well-being, because you need to be well. We need to learn how to be well-being.
You know, these are the thoughts that upon the transitioning, we all have an appointment, and that appointment is the transitioning period.
Yes.
I am becoming more convinced that as we become reprogrammed, is the best word I know.
Yes.
And seeing the way it is,
yep.
They say that our paraspirits are the ones that keep us in that death process between the body and the spirit.
Yeah, you can't let go of the body image.
Yeah.
You can't let go of the image, and that's worshiping the false idol. That's how the first commandment is broken.
So if you begin to reprogram the spirit, the paraspirit, it's going to see something much more different in that transition period, I would think.
Well, the thing is I think that the key is like Buddha would always talk about, become nothing. Because you got to drop the image. You got to drop the image of yourself. And you know, your seed that you went and got, the round seed, remember that's you. You're not this body. You are a seed of God itself, a God seed. So go back to the seed, drop everything, and you will soar to levels of vibration you can't even imagine. Because the only thing that brings this vibration down is the attachment to this.
I as you were talking, I was literally seeing in my mind the scene in the movie Dune, when Paul Atreides was in there with the witch, the mistress, and she brought in the box, and it's called the box of fear.
Yeah.
And he had to stick his hand into the box.
Yeah.
And of course, he felt everything that could happen, but it was all up here.
Oh, your own fear.
Yes.
So, oh yeah, dig your hand into that box and go, nanny, nanny, boo, boo, haha. Let's deal with this.
So Buddha said, become nothing.
Nothing. You become nothing. And I think one time the Lord told me that Buddha was over him, had reached a higher level of attainment.
Yeah.
Than even he. And he raised a super high level of attainment. But Buddha, I guess, was even above him, because Buddha truly understood the nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
Christ was still in the sacrificial. I want to save, I want to heal, I want to give wisdom, I want to teach, I want to show, and I'm going to show them not to fear death. That's why he allowed himself to die, because he was like, dude, really? What's the problem?
Yeah. Death is not the end. Death is just merely the opening.
I really do think there's something profound about these Buddha teachings, the Buddhist concepts, because they're literally showing you over and over again, you are everything. And through that, all of everything that you are nothing.
That is the key. I just wrote it down, is literally becoming nothing. If you face your fear and you literally view the fear as nothing, it's going to pass right through you.
And if you can see your paraspirit as just an aspect that you've created into form, and you know that it is nothing, and it drops and dissolves just like leaves off of a tree.
Well, that would explain.
Let it go. I saw myself, like I said, when I was going to kill myself, and when I realized I'd been worshiping false idols with my spirit guide, giving all my power away for 20, 30 years.
That sucks.
I was like, holy crap, So I literally, when I realized that, I was like, oh my God, if this monkey suit is going to screw me up, I'm going to drop this bad boy right now. And they were like, oh no, they were like, don't do it. I was like, oh,
quite mean it's that far.
I'm like, I'm going to just throw it down. I'm going to stomp on it. And I'm going to tell my kids to
calm down now.
This is what we do, folks.
Relax, calm down now. Don't stress. Take it easy.
Just breathe deep.
Yep.
The gathering gloom. Watch light fade from every room. Oh,
Wayne,
this has been great. I'm going to tell you,
win.
it's
Yep.
it really is. And within this, you see, the thing that I see so often with people, and I've been there, know that when you've been homeless, when there isn't anyone that really seems to care other than yourself. And that's really how it come down to. It's really, you have to get in within yourself.
Yeah.
It's just that. If I had known magic in the purest sense of what it was, not the way that the world perceives it,
Mm-hmm.
I dare say you and I could probably have saved ourselves a few bump and bruises.
Oh, more than, yeah, a lot of bumps and bruises.
Yeah, well, I was being, conservative and saying a few, but yeah, it is a lot. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
And I do think, Wayne, the ones of us that were born here with this, because like we're the antivirus. I've seen this over and over again. You guys are the rebel. You're the system busters, because you won't be able to conform. It won't work with you. So we were meant to challenge things. And like I said, when I challenged the whole construct of I was going to drop my body with no fear, no self-pity, no nothing, that's when they were like, you've been freed from the bondage of the serpent. So literally whatever that powerful gnosis that came to me, that this flesh is just throw it away when it's done. When I figured that out, somehow I reached a new level of vibration. So just to let you guys know, try to get that truth inside of you. You are much more than your body.
Yeah. Powerful stuff. That's all I got to say, because it's true. And this is how we begin. And it kind of just wrapping up the whole show. It's, an hour's passed, is that this is how we combat this. And I believe that these archons, and I think that's a good word for them. I don't know what else. I mean, I think they sense, as they would say, there's a vibration.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what, you just said that word, Wayne, archon, and I literally, remember I told you the Ark of the Covenant is in your mind?
Mm-hmm.
I literally saw arc on, like you're getting stabbed with their,
ooh,
like they're
the arc on.
Yeah, the arc on you. They're arc on in you. They're arc on you. They're sending information into your brain through an arc.
And you know what happens in electronics when you have an arc?
What?
It burns out the component.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it does. It sears. It burns. It
Oh my gosh.
freezes.
Wow. That's profound.
That's what it does. And we've been discussing how the sigils are nothing more than a language based upon electrical beings.
Yeah. Oh wow, Wayne, light bulb moment. Bing.
Woo!
I like
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Whoa.
That's a big one for me. The archon is the arc. Wow. That's a big one for me. Thank you.
It makes sense.
That's a big one.
Okay.
That just connected a lot of dots in my mind. Wow.
I'll have to take a walk and digest this one a little bit more.
Me
Holy
too.
crap.
I'm going to need a little time to process that one too. I was like, whoa.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Okay. This
Energy
is
first. Yep. They're laughing again. Energy first. The arc. Wow.
I like that. I'm going to need to write this down, because that is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
And it would make sense if you find that the sigils are a language of these beings that are electrical beings.
Yes.
Then an archon would be what would bridge between yourself and where you would be going to a neutral. They would come in and arc out. Wow. No shit, folks. This is deep. Holy wow. Okay. I hope y'all have enjoyed this.
For us to process now, they're like, okay, there you go, kids. Chew on that one for a while.
And, the timing perfect on this one. Wow. Okay. Trina, you want to say anything before we go?
I guess arc on, guys, but make sure that we're using the laser beams that we choose instead of letting
Yes.
us get arced. We need to become the arc.
Yeah, because an arc can work both ways. You can have it where it actually shorts out, but you can have it where it connects.
Yes. I just saw that in my mind as like, but you can make this work for you instead of against you. So, polarity.
All right, folks.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow and tonight if you want to tune in at the Art of First Network. Next week, Miss Trina will be back, and her website, her YouTube channel, all contact information is down there. Trina, stay with me. This has been far out, but thank you, honey. This has just been far out. All right, folks, we will see you later on. Arc on, right?
Yeah, arc on.
Peace.